Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about another episode of Dueling Book Commentary. We have Do 3011 with I can't see right now. It's because it says it's viewing deck, picking 3 cards. So I can't see. So we'll go over here. We have Wolfire 4 with 592 rating, 1593 experience. He's got, and then Dudu has 365 rating, 544 experience. We did see Machina redeployment, discard, Infitrack, Trencher, and add at least Machina Fortress. I'm not sure the other card that he added. And then we did see Machina Metal Cruncher get normal summoned. And then he added one of them to his hand. I believe it was this guy. Infitrack Brutal Dozer. And you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target one. What's up with this? How did this come back out? Was it this thing? Once per turn. Was it this thing? Could have been this thing. If this card is special summon from the hand, you can special summon from your deck in defense position, but negates its effects. And then this card, you can draw cards, you can detach. Does anybody know what any of these cards do? I'm sure someone somewhere knows what these cards do. But we do see the Ancient Gear Ballista come down. It says it was link summoned. You can add a Ancient Gear or a Gear Town from his deck to his hand. And then target one spell or trap he controls, the opponent controls, and destroy them. I didn't know Ancient Gear got a Link monster. That's exciting. I think that would have been bigger news. I think he was using this material, the Infitrack Golem. Box added something, and I was not paying attention. Oh, Box added Tunneler. Treacher is banished to summon out Brutal Dozer. Dozer is used to summon out another Goliath. And then Tunneler is summoned. By tributing Ballista. And then Goliath is summoned. And now, double-headed Anger Knuckle is summoned. Cannot be used as link material during your main phase. You can send one monster into the graveyard. You're going to use Tunneler's effect to shuffle back cards and draw 2. That's actually really good. That's pretty cool. And then he's going to use Knuckles' effect to set a target one level 10 or higher. That can't be it, right? This is level 10. Is that ignoring its summoning condition? I guess. Does it? Must be summoned by a card effect. Never mind. And then, but it's negate its effects. So how did this come out? Okay, 1 second. Oh, there you go. 1 second. There we go. If all monsters you control are Earth machines, you can special summon this card from your hand. And now we do see the Rail Cannon come down. And it is going to be unaffected by card effects until the end of this turn. And then we see Bullet Train. And then in the standby phase, we are going to see Rail Cannon activate. Target itself. So it's just 4,000. It's unaffected. That's pretty groovy. And then, so there's 4 cards in Dudu's hand. We know 3 of them. We do not. We know 2 of them. Yes. One is Metal Cruncher. One is Brutal Dozer. I don't think either of them do anything in the hand. We see Foolish Burial Goods come down. sending Virtual World Gates. And then on resolution, Lancia. And then he chains Called by the Grave in response. Wow. What a champion. He had the Called by the Grave. What a champion. Wow. That's insane. Because, like, now look at Lancia's banished. Look, how'd you get over there, Lancia? You look a little lost, buddy. Talking the smack. So, that's going to really open up the Virtual World players' play strings here. To be able to do a lot of different things. That Call by the Grave was really, really clutch. It's, like, insane, actually. Triple Tactics talent is going to come down. Draw 2 cards. Pretty good card. If you're playing IRL, not sure how great this card is. He can't. If your opponent has activated a monster effect on your main phase, activate one of these effects. He's gonna ash that. Like in real life, $100 for this card's not really worth it. But if you're playing on Dueling Book, not really anything super terrible against this. I don't even actually know if he could have activated that. Or he activated this, it was just negated, yeah, I can remember. So this gets Ash Blossom. So the only 2 cards left in his hand are these 2. So the only real form of disruption, unless this has one, no, is this card. And we do see... Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I lost it. That's okay. We do see Klinglong activated. Adding... I think it was it... Did it add Lulu? I thought it added Lulu. And then we do see Nian. Why are these so hard to say? I gotta find... I'm gonna say their first names. I'm not gonna... Well, Lulu... I'll say Lulu. This one's Heim. This one's Lulu. This one's Heim. And then we do see Kinglong activated as well. So... we're seeing Lulu's going to send... Virtual World's an interesting strategy right now, too, because of... So we are going to see the gate go down. And Lao. Or Rashi. Let's see what Rashi. Rashi is added to the deck of the hand. And then Nian. And then Heim. He just added it. And then Heim is summoned. Because it was in the graveyard. So... I don't think... Yeah, he isn't normal summoned yet. He's in a pretty decent spot here. Outing the Infitrack is going to be interesting, but if there is a deck that can randomly... Yeah, and if you notice, the backdrop is different, because I'm actually sitting in my bed right now. So that's exciting. I know, the power of modern technology. You can just sit in your bed and do this. But we do see... Anger Knuckle is going to use its effect to send itself to the grave. Summon out Super Express Bullet Train. And then we see Lily is going to be activated. Torrential Tribute is activated. What a champion. What a champion. What a champion. The Citadel. Oh, the Citadel was in his grave. Wait, is that how Citadel works? That's pretty cool. Okay. So Citadel comes back for its own effect. That's not terrible. Alright, Machina, I see you. So, no more forms of disruptions, though, for Doo-Doo. We'll see if Wolfire can come back still. I mean, he's able to make a rank 6 or a, I mean, he can make an Ultimate Izoken. Not really too much you can do with Ultimate Izoken here. Can make Constellar Ptolemy and be able to set Chuchi. because Chuchi is live, just barely. And I don't know. These cards are not too bad. Should be wondering if you special this card. Man, you could probably actually do some pretty crazy stuff here. And then he actually could use Citadel's effect, but that wouldn't be super great. It could be, though. I'm just trying to see how Doodoo's going to respond. I guess it does depend on what comes down. So Virtual Ward Phoenix is coming down. You should check to retarget one face of a card. Your opponent controls one card in the graveyard. Banish them. Wow, that looks pretty good. So he's going to go ahead and banish Citadel, I'm assuming? Well, he has to. Citadel and Knuckle as well. Still doesn't feel super great, though. And he attacked into... Why did he attack? Is it because of Zeus? Once per turn, he went detached. Why did he attack? Does it say it has to attack? No. Does this say he has to attack? So Zeus is pretty good here. Kind of makes you wonder why Doodoo played, or why Doodoo activated Rail Cannon's effect during the first. He did forget Bullet Train. I just remembered Bullet Train as well. It's this guy. You can target one graveyard and add to your hands. A lot. Machina Fortress has been pretty decent. But because he played... When Rail Cannon came down, he detached immediately and became unaffected by card effects except its own. And then now you're in a situation where it doesn't have any material. And he's just going to go ahead and try to attack over the Zeus in the damage step. He's going to activate Zeus's effect. Send all the cards to the graveyard. Oh, if an Xyz monster battled this turn. Got it. Makes sense. I figured it was because of Zeus. Yeah. I haven't read this card in a bit. That's okay. We do see the Ancient Gearbox as normal summons. It's interesting he didn't normal summon... Oh, he doesn't have it. Where did it go? Huh. Anyway. Ancient Gearbox is tributed. Special summoning Brutal Dozer. Brutal Dozer is going to special summon an Infitrack monster. Yeah, that's kind of awkward. These are two different levels. This card is normal special, you can special summon. Does this not negate its effects? This is okay. I was going to say... I feel like that's pretty good if it doesn't negate the effects. We do see Goliath come back down. River Stomper. Oh, it's in the one in the graveyard. Yeah. It's going to detach it to take one of the fishing monsters and you detach it to the graveyard. I'm just like learning what this deck does this whole time. I'm barely even like commentating. I think that you want to get another Citadel in graveyard, but you do also want to out the Zeus. But it's kind of looking like it's not going to be super feasible to out the Zeus this turn. And honestly, I'm not sure really what Wolfire can do with just a Zeus, even though Zeus does have the most attack on the field. But anyway, we did see River Stomper activates effect to tribute Goliath, summon itself, and attach its material. No, just special summon it. And then Goliath attached it? Yes. Okay. And then we saw Machina Metal Cruncher come down. And then we see Anchor Drill's effect. Okay. So Wolfire felt like that was not a repairable game state for him. That's so interesting. So Infitrack taking the first duel against Virtual World. Infitrack Machina. Interestingly enough, okay, I guess, this is definitely more of a rogue matchup than yesterday's Dueling Book commentary. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Which one of these two decks do you think is better going into this format? Infitrack, Machina with Earth Machine, summoning everything everywhere, or Virtual World. I personally think Virtual World is. We did see Infitrack take duel number 1, though. Infitrack Machina, but we'll see going forward what's going to happen here. As we do see the World City come down. Didn't need to say World City, because they all say World on them. And that's going to go ahead and activate Chuchi. Chuchi? Feels like it's Chuchi. And then GG's effect's going to activate, sending Klingling and summoning itself. Klingling's gonna. There's no responses from Dudu, who should have known he was probably gonna go second. Must not be siding in any Ash Blossoms, Vathers, Ghost Bells, Lancias. We did see a Lancia get used last duel, so he's main decking Artifact Lancia. And we do see the Ash come down. Feels kind of okay. We see 2/2's effect. It's going to activate. So the Ash is gone. I'd assume Dudu doesn't have any other responses other than Nibiru. Let me see. 1 second. This is any card, yeah. So Shen does come down. It's pretty solid in this matchup. I mean, it's obviously really solid in every matchup, but it's really, really good in this matchup. 8. Did he already banish some? He did. So we do see not the greatest looking Ash Blossom's probably the go-to there, right? I mean, he adds 2, right? No, it adds 1. He definitely, yeah, Ash was definitely the correct play there. So now you have the Ash, you have the Shen, you have the Chuchi, or the Chooch, and then you have GG's effect. Now you have GG's effect, excuse me. That's going to search as well. No, GG got the Lulu, okay. So this is interesting. Not like the hardest spot to be in, if you're Dudu, but definitely not ideal. Now there is a machine. Now this is a duel where the Star Destroying Kaiju makes sense. Now we do see the Metal Cruncher come down. I would assume, yeah, that's not gonna get Ash Blossom just quite yet, but you gotta wonder, I mean, where is gonna be a good Ash Blossom target? Maybe searching for the Ancient Gear box. Maybe. I feel like that honestly could have been a good Ash target. Can Ash be activated right now, though? You can discard this card. Of course it can. Ash can always be activated, of course. I'm being silly. Even under Mind Drain, Ash would find a way. Super Bolt, Super Express, Machina Fortress. So that's a lot. Machina Fortress would be interesting here. Machina Fortress can't discard itself for this. We do see heavy forward come down. I feel like that also could have been a good Ash target. Because the thing with Ash, and this is a good point to bring up now, it's all really about timing. Ash can either be discard one card and your opponent continues, or Ash can be discard one card and you essentially win the duel, or come very very close to it, right? And it's just really all about the right timing. You never want to ash too early, but you also never want to ash too late. And it feels like in this situation, Wolfire might be ashing a little bit too late. I mean, 5 cards in Dudu's hand. He's got 2 cards on the field. We do see Bulldozer's effect attempt to activate. No response there. And now on the Bulldozer, that is going to see the Ash Blossom. It could be the right move, could be the right. I don't know. I still feel like it could have been a little late. I think this because this was searched right off of heavy forward. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. I could definitely be wrong. I haven't played too much against Infitrack Machina. Um, but it definitely feels like heavy forward would have been better there. And we do see urgent schedule coming down. It's going to be very very good. For Dudu. Um, it's going to be able to probably but negate the defense. It can't declare an attacks, but is he a machine? That'd be wild. Okay, it's a psychic. Um, we do have Chuchi. There is Chuchi still on the board for the virtual world player, and all of these cards are going to get banished. So he's got to be, Dude's got to be very careful what cards he's summoning, what cards he's using for link material before the Shen Shen is destroyed, because the last thing you'd want to do is have a lot of very good cards that you'd want in your graveyard banished as well. Because even though we do see cards like decks like Virtual World, Metafist, Grand Maju that actually prefer if their cards are banished, most decks don't like most decks don't like their cards to be banished, right? And we do see the Chuchi come down. It's going to go ahead and destroy the Treacher. And yeah, there's not really a whole lot in your graveyard right now, Dudu. And so that's why I was saying, like, I think Virtual World's actually still a pretty solid rogue option of a deck. But I think that, don't sleep now. Don't schlep on the Infitrack Machina deck. It has. Here's the thing with this is how Earth Machine has been for almost like over like half a decade, if not more. Just like summon just like the biggest monster on the field and attack, right? And so there are certain game states, obviously there's like Access Code Talker, Boral Sword, but there are certain game states where that just wins you the duel. And if the consistency is there, which is proving to be a decently consistent, it could potentially be a very solid strategy. And without VFD, Virtual World's not really as strong as it used to be, right? And here's the thing too. This is what happens a lot of times when it's a top tier deck and it gets nerfed by the ban list. A lot of people still know how to play against it. You're looking at decks like Sky Strikers, Spirals, Salamangreats, Animancipators, and now Virtual World, and Drytron as well. If someone tries to play a not as good version or a post-banlist version of that deck, people still remember how to play against the full power version. So that's something to keep in mind too if you're picking up a deck like that. But we do see, not Brutal Dozer, but Tunneler's effect activates, tributing off the Harvester, summoning out River Stomper. River Stomper is going to go ahead and go into battle, attack over the Lily. Lily's going to be banished. And we do see River Stomper's effect is going to activate. Detaching. And that is what's cool about Xyz material is that it, even under a Macrocosmos like effect, like Shen Shen, they do still go to the graveyard because technically Macrocosmos and Shen Shen says any card sent from the field to the graveyard, but as Xyz material, it's not technically on the field. So that's a cool little interaction, able to get not only Tunneler, which is a very good graveyard effect, but also Brutal Dozer. I think Brutal Dozer has a graveyard effect. I don't know, I just read this for the first time today. Some of these cards I've seen before. Some of these cards have not. Yeah, I don't think this has a graveyard effect, but that's okay. And we do see Zeus come down after that. And I would not be surprised if Zeus activates his effect now. Feels like that's the right play. So actually, heavy forward is going to attach itself as material, which I guess not like terrible. That way, Zeus can actually. Let's see what happens. He's gonna yes, okay. So he's gonna detach. It's interesting he didn't detach River Stomper to get more targets for Tunneler. Um, hmm. But nonetheless, we do see the Zeus here, and we see Machina Fortress come down, discarding itself and Citadel, or just discarding Citadel actually. And so that's gonna be it for Machina Fortress. It's gonna and if this card, keep in mind, Machina Fortress's effect isn't. I mean, okay, is it power crept a little bit? You know, it targets, it destroys, it has a battle, battle destruction effect. But it's not in certain game states, like simplified game states like this, where we see one person has 3 cards total, the other they both people have 3 cards total. Could be very strong and relevant, but we do see Shen Shen come back. We see Lulu, Lulu's effect activate, sending Ling Ling, Nian Nian. His effect activated as well. Zeus can't do anything at this current time. So, Wolfire has to be careful outing this Machina Fortress, and I think it has to go to the graveyard. If this card's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, yeah. So, but, can't be targeted, so it can be destroyed by battle, yeah. But that does still trigger Zeus to attach. So that could be fairly good. And this is where we're seeing, virtual worlds, sort of how it still fits into the meta. Well, you're seeing it right here with Shen Shen being able to come back after being destroyed. It's such a relevant and powerful effect. 2800 attack, walking macro Cosmos is pretty good, and now all of a sudden, we saw at the start of this turn, Wolfire and Doodoo both had 3 cards on the field and in their hand. It was actually 2 and 2, or it was actually, I don't think Wolfire had any cards. And then we've seen as he's sort of climbed and doing his virtual world plays, now all of a sudden, he's got 4 cards, he's about to have 4 cards on the field and 1 card in hand. So that's 5 total, still to Doodoo's 3. And so it's cool. Infitrack can make the Zeus. It's very, very cool. But unfortunately, it's looking a little bit lackluster at this current time. No, I don't think. Oh, we do. Okay, so it's Tunneler is in Doodoo's hand, so not really much Doodoo can do except for Doodoo can do. Not really much 3011 can do except for watch. As that's going to be the out to Zeus, unfortunately, as we see detaching 2 from Phoenix, banishing Citadel, banishing Zeus. I actually would have banished Tunneler. I think Tunneler was probably the more correct banish there. I mean, yes, okay, right now you have the walking macrocosmos, right? But you never know. You never know what your opponent could top deck, what your opponent could use, and I think, okay, yeah, Citadel's graveyard effect is cool. I guess, what if Phase of Merchant control? I guess it could have come right back, so never mind. Never mind, completely forget everything I was just saying. Citadel's effect significantly more relevant there. That's okay. Now we will see, however, keep in mind, this is duel number 2. It could have won easy if I don't misplay 100 from the fan. I don't know what misplay he's talking about because I don't know how to play this deck at all. But I'm learning. And now we see a Zeus of Wolfire, a Zeus of his own, coming down using Gaia. So that's pretty good. And then this set card is coming down. Did we know? Is it Chuchi? Chuchi is live. It is Chuchi. And if Chuchi's live, that's probably game. Oh, we do see Urgent Schedule come down. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we do see the bullet train come down. And Harvester as well. No. He's got to figure out a way. He can tribute off one of these two for a Harvester. And so I think this is where we're going to see River Stomper come back. Yeah, there really wasn't much that he could do there with that. And so I'm going to turn on battery saver mode. So that's exciting. Got a little dimmer, but that's okay. And now, you're seeing Wolfire. What are you really siding against? Infitrack? I mean, obviously, I would assume you're running Fantastical, Phantasme. I skipped a word there. Gamma, Cyframe Gear Gamma is probably in there as well. I'd assume Ash Blossom's already in the main. So, if you're, Wolfire, that's probably what you're using there. Now, if you're Doo-Doo, the Torrential was really relevant during the first duel. As we see Machina redeployment come down, and that is going to see the Ash. He discarded Urgent Schedule? Why? What? Wait, what? He has to have another Urgent Schedule. And we do see Different Dimension Ground come down. Which is some spice. Against Virtual World. I did not expect I haven't seen Different Dimensional Ground in a second. And it's only monsters, too. He's got one card set. I'd assume that one card has to be an urgent set schedule, because there's no other reason why. I have no idea what else he could have been doing. But anyway, we do see World City come down. Or Quawn. That's going to set Chuchi immediately. And this is where now with Chuchi already on the field, you're kind of fueling Chuchi's fire with the Different Dimension Ground. I would assume this was side decked because it's not very good. It kind of hurts his deck too. So I'd assume that this was side decked. It's pretty good against dinosaurs. Different Dimension Ground is pretty good against dinosaurs. Actually, if you guys are here, click that like button, click that subscribe. You got to do the plugs. You know what I mean? The Yu-Gi-Oh algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, as well as the Yu-Gi-Oh algorithm, works in mysterious ways. So click that like button, click that subscribe button. And if you guys are still watching, I do appreciate that. But answer, in the comment section down below. Different Dimension Ground. How do you feel about it right now as a tech choice? You look at, okay, cool, Dragon Link, it's not terrible against Dragon Link. Shaddoll Invoked, or Dogmatica, it's not terrible against that deck. Eldritch, it's terrible against. I will say that. I think there's better cards in this. I think there's cards that do something similar that are better, but I will say most cards that banish are continuous effects, and Different Dimension Ground is just the one turn. As we do see Lulu's effect, Lily's effect, excuse me, after the Pot of Prosperity. I don't really remember what Pot of Prosperity added, but that's okay. Probably something very good. He's saying something. The suspense is killing me. He can't send Nian. Oh yeah. Yeah, he can summon it. Because it says you can. Yeah. So, okay, so, by the way, Dudu is saying he can't summon Nian Nian because of Different Dimension Ground. But its actuality is because it says he can send one Virtual World card, of the third type to the graveyard, and he's saying he can't do that, right? Lulu got put back in the grave somehow. That's okay. But the reason why. Oh, Shen returns? That's cute. But the reason why he can activate that is because it says you can. So it special summons this card, then you can send a card. So he doesn't have to technically send that card. And we do see that these cards are, yeah. The different dimension ground was some spice. I'm not gonna lie, because that, it made the Chooch live. Yeah, the different dimension ground is actually probably what lost him the duel, to be honest. But also the Ash on the what was that card? The one that summons two Earth machines was pretty crazy. Or one, the Ash on the Machina was pretty crazy too. But I think discarding the card that he discarded for that was a huge misplay, because now you can use that to stall and continue on that way. But nonetheless, let me know what you guys think about this video. Virtual World, Infitrack, Machina, pretty interesting duel to say the very, very least. But if you did click that like button, subscribe for even more Yu-Gi-Oh content, but most importantly of all, have a good day.